Welcome to the She Nailed It show, where faith meets foundation and every renovation tells a redemption story. I'm your host, Danette Galvis, and we're not just transforming a house, we're rebuilding lives. On this show, we'll talk about real challenges, real faith, and the blessings that come when you don't give up. From recovery and restoration to faith and fresh starts, this is where we discover that what once broke us is actually building us. So grab your hard hat and your heart, because on the She Nailed It show, we're fixing up homes, finding purpose, and proving that with a little faith and a lot of courage, you can nail it too. Welcome to the She Nailed It show. I am your host, Danette Galvis, and I am so excited to bring a contributing author from the best-selling book, She Nailed It, to the show today. Denise Sandkamp is here, and she is the founder and CEO of Female Financial Fitness. I am so excited to bring her. Welcome her to the show with me. Welcome, Denise. How are you today?
Hi, Danette. Great seeing you.
Great to see you too. After 25 years in corporate America, Denise opened her own company to educate and empower women to take control of their finances. Born in Colombia, she grew up in Germany and speaks 5 languages fluently. She has an MBA, Series 65, and a CFP candidate. She's a mother of 2 teenage boys, loves faith, fitness, food, and friends. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here today, Denise.
Thanks so much for having me, Danette.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about what got you to open up your own business. What was the pivoting moment that you realized you had to do something, that something had to change?
So 2 things really, personally and also on the corporate America side. After having worked with American Express and Citi in total for 25 years, I just saw this growing need for women that wanted to understand finances better, and the opportunity and just to stand in the gap and be there for women and explain finances to them, educate them, empower them, and energize them to get to the state that they really start to invest and build their own financial future and take their finances in their own hands. And I was really ready. I was thinking, I had great jobs, great positions, very interesting global projects. But in the end, it wasn't really helping much. It wasn't really helping the community. It was like another high net worth individual from Hong Kong, I don't know, was able to open an account in the US, but there was really no impact on more of an philanthropical side. So, and at the same time, there are so many women that need help with their finances. So I'm very excited. Nobody would ever thought that I can really use all of my knowledge and expertise in the financial world to have an impact in my community and help people at a very personal level.
I love that, though. Even though you were in the industry in corporate America for 25 years, that was God preparing you for such a time as this, for your calling. I can relate 100% on a female myself. I wasn't raised to learn about how to balance a checkbook. I wasn't raised to learn about finances. My mother raised 4 kids on her own. So there wasn't an influx of finance. So it was living paycheck to paycheck, or I would often ask for something and it would be, we can't afford that, as the response. So it was never a conversation that came up in our hushold. So I love that you're doing that now. For women. And there's so many women out there that also don't manage the finances if their husband manages the finances or something. So I love that you're giving the power back.
Yes. And the man should never be a financial plan, right? And it's just so important to have that confidence and clarity and actively starting to build wealth, right? Women really miss out on building wealth. Mm-hmm. And once they get involved, statistically, they really outperform men as well in investing. So I'm just very, very excited about the opportunity that's there, and about being able again to help women. And with that, the whole economy really rises, right? Once women get involved, it's going to benefit everybody.
Yes. I am involved in a real estate investing network for women, and it is a topic in our network about how to make interest on your money if you have a if you have a 401k sitting there not doing much. It's still earning something, but there's so many other possibilities out there in the world that could help you earn more and be a bank, for lack of better words, is what we talk about, is how to be a bank and earn 10% on, helping a woman flip a house by being a private money lender, versus that woman having to go to a bank and get qualified. And sometimes women are just getting started, so they don't have the qualifications yet. So it is a full circle moment when a woman can learn that she can put her money to work. And I think that's so empowering. And it's not, like you mentioned a second ago, some wealthy person in Hong Kong, they might not even be doing it themselves. They have their assistant or their people doing it, setting up things for them. So this is more powerful because you're working one-on-one with the woman. And I know what I've learned. It does get to be exciting that, oh my goodness, I can do that. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could use private money lending to go fund my next flip. And so the world is waking up.
Yes. And there's so much information. It can be so confusing. Mm-hmm. And I really come from a place of holistic financial planning, right? I overlook all of the investments, not just classical investments, but also all of the retirement planning, and just knowing so much about tax benefits, different strategies to really save on taxes during retirement, and also the real estate. Where does that fit in? Right, that's what ultimately brought me to the book and the project as well, because it's really important that you have somebody that looks at the whole picture. And when women go to a bigger bank chain or brokerage house, that's usually not the case.
Yes. Well, this is amazing. And I am so grateful that we've started this conversation to bring it out to women. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to find out more how Denise can help the female and getting into their financial fitness. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
An empowered life has no expiration date. We're all created to do incredible things, like conquer summits, catch big waves, and live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHKCU, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy for improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that can support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.
Okay, welcome back to the She Nailed It show. Today we have with us Denise Sandkamp, and she has been sharing some wonderful information on how she is working finances and helping women in the finance world get more financial education by empowering them with more knowledge. And welcome back to the show. Thank you for being here, Denise.
Thanks, Danette.
So tell me, what was one of the hardest moments that prepared you for your calling? Share with us a little bit of insight in that. I know in your story, we won't go too much into your story on the chapter so that someone could buy the book. You have to buy the book to read the whole chapter for Denise, but share one of the hardest moments that was really that aha moment. I know you spoke before about being there for 25 years in corporate America, but you being a mother of 2 children and also a working mom who was very successful in corporate America. Share with us what led you to this and the victory that came with that. And then really what you're doing now and how someone might be able to get a hold of you.
Okay. So I think that the real victory always comes out of faith, right? Really, really whatever decision you take or took, and it might have been the right decision, having that faith that there is a God and he's good and he'll guide you and he'll work everything for good in the background. Mm-hmm. Maybe for his glory, but also for our help. So in my case, when I look at where I am right now, it's really much more than I would even ask for or imagine, right? And it didn't start this way at my early career. And I was working in Frankfurt in Germany in a relatively cold climate when I'm actually originally from Colombia, right? And there's a whole adoption story behind this. But I never really felt well in Germany. And then I always preferred a more tropical climate like that I have right now in Miami. But I never thought I would end up in Miami one day. I did have a chance to work for an American company, and I did work for American Express in Germany, end of the 90s. And at this point, I was invited by a headhunter to interview for a new company or company that was just establishing businesses in Germany. And it was an interesting, back then, startup digital company, basically. And during the interview, I was offered to make most of the money out of stock options. And I wasn't happy with that because I wanted to earn more than I was earning at American Express. And the gentleman talking to me was so convinced that his company is going to be huge one day and that I should be happy to take stock options and that I don't understand how big this is going to be one day. And I was just thinking to myself, it's books online. It's not going to be great. But in the end, fast forward, it was Amazon back then. And I don't even know if it might have been Jeff Bezos himself who interviewed me. He was very, very convinced.
Wow.
And at that moment, really, you'd think, where would I be today, right? If I had accepted the offer and the stock options that came in the 90s from Amazon. So, there's 2 ways you can go, right? It's one way is to just have faith.
Yes.
I still ended up in Miami, and I think Jeff Bezos lives somewhere behind me on some island. And really trusting and giving it your best. And I think I'm very, very happy, where I am today, right? Because I have a bigger impact in a different area in financial services. Mm-hmm. That's basically what brought me to the financial world, to the US, and gave me all of the knowledge and every experience I needed to, at this stage of my life, be able to impact the community around me and women in the US who really want to learn more about finances, how they can take control of their own financial life and start to build wealth. And it's really a movement of women coming together and building wealth together.
Yes, I see that in the real estate world. I see that in the flipping and remodeling world of, women just wanting to get involved and take action. And I know through my personal experience, that's what God calls us to do. And while there might be one door closed with Amazon, he had far greater things for you to do. Yeah. And I love that we trust that. You have been successful in your career already with the corporate world and then now on your own. So God called you to do just exactly this by empowering and educating women. What would you recommend someone do? And of course, get in contact with you. But before they did that, what would be something that would be an entry level type education, or what would they want to start with? I've learned a little bit more also within this program about trusts and wills and all of those other things that start to get really confusing. But what would be one thing that you would say would be a great starting point to begin education in financial fitness?
Yes. I think the first step is just to take an action. What I see with women is all of I have to take care of my finances. I should do a trust, all of this. And it gets on the to-do list. And the end of the year, it falls off the list. It gets on the list next year. And many women do this for years, right? Mm-hmm. So the first step, really reach out, to anybody in your area who's a financial planner. Reach out to me. I'm on Female Financial Fitness, fee55.com. And that's the first step. And then see who you best can work with. But to be able to trust somebody, is just so important, right? Because it's your money and you want to be, able to work with somebody that, just aligns with your values, right? And then, it's important to understand that there are so many different pieces. So there's so much information out there, not to get confused, right? Not even ChatGPT is always right. Mm-hmm. So it's important to trust the professionals as well, right? There's people who've studied this for many years, worked on this for many years. And what I usually do with my clients, I start them off with a CrossFin class instead of CrossFit. It's CrossFit. And so instead of 3 rounds of burpees and push-ups and sit-ups, I usually do just 1 round on basic financial education. What are all of these investment products out there? What is it all about? And then financial strategy and really what a holistic financial plan would look like. And that's something that I explain, with the acronym, BIG, right? BING. So big financial plan. It starts with B for the basic, right? To understand that your base should really be that everything is covered, right? Do you have your retirement plan, right? Right. Do you have an estate plan? Do you have your will and trust? Do you have a life insurance? If you're a single mother, do you have a pension, right? For example, a private pension like an annuity. There's basic things just to cover the base. And then we go into income strategies. There are different strategies that you can get passive income every month, right? If it's through a REIT, as you know, or maybe a dividend paying ETF, there's different. And then whatever is left over, the G, we can allocate that to growth, right? But that's the money that we really, if it loses a little bit for a few years, even we're not going to be struggling. Right. So there is a methodology. There's mathematical amounts that should be in these different buckets. And, my really passion is for making this very clear so women can be confident with the financial actions that they take.
That's amazing. I love what you just explained here, and for the viewers to hear this too, because so many people can get stuck in like the analysis paralysis. Yeah. And if you start with, especially you bring up AI, if you start to go down that trail, then it gets to be confusing and you're like, oh, forget it. Then all of a sudden you see that you've been on your phone for an hour and you didn't really get anywhere. So what I'm hearing you say is the first step is to open accounts, to get that open so that they can be used and accessed after you start working with someone. Actually, you will educate them on how to open accounts. But if someone did have some accounts already open, they're kind of already ahead of the game.
Exactly. And these accounts can be reviewed also for efficiency, tax efficiency, for example, right? And returns and results. It's just important, like with everything in life, And I'm from Germany, so that's really a big thing there to have a plan. You always need to have a plan, and then you execute the plan. And you can always adjust the plan when life changes. But it's such a great feeling to just have a plan. It's like a spring clean. Suddenly all of the finances, when I start with my clients, they remember different, oh, I still have a 401k here. And actually I have all these different accounts. There's a way to really consolidate things, simplify it, make it clearer. And then after that, after we have a plan, we can execute the strategies and really actively build wealth.
Yes. And I love how you use, tax strategies. It's nothing that is, under the radar or, let's say illegal. It is strategy. It is building your taxes so that you can keep what you're supposed to keep and still pay what you need to pay, but you're not overpaying, or you're able to allocate funds that you've worked hard for and allocate it to one of those accounts that you've opened so that you have a tax-free benefit there. So, I love learning more about this, and I'm just so grateful for you being a part of this book, a part of this movement for women, and all the things that you're doing. And since we are a little bit on real estate and finances, do you own a portfolio of real estate yourself?
I used to during the pandemic, really. And then it also started off as the same thing. I started off dabbling into the real estate investment in Miami, and the first closing of my really big, single family home that I was going to Airbnb, the closing was the day of the shutdown. So it really didn't look very, very rosy, because Airbnb was closed down basically for a few months. But the Lord was always there, always had long-term tenants. Then Airbnb opened and bloomed in Miami because nobody could travel to Europe. Everybody from up north came to Miami. It was an amazing business. I even got a second house in 2020 as well. 2 big houses that I was successfully Airbnb for a few years until it really got too much work. It was great in the beginning. It's so exciting. I felt like I own my own hotels, but it gets very straining. Real estate comes with some work, right? And I could very successfully sell them because prices in Miami just doubled basically since the pandemic. And now I just own my home, REIT investments, right? Because you can sell your home if it's an investment home and do a 1031 exchange into a REIT instead of another property. And then you get the same passive income, but you don't have all the work that comes with it.
Yes. Well, that is exactly what we do in the investing network is Airbnb and passive income coming just from long-term rentals, renting out properties. And I know exactly what happened with the pandemic. Florida became the destination to go. I'm Texas, so it's only like an hour and 15-minute flight for us. So I think all of Texas went to Florida. And so it was beautiful, and people have shared with there were properties sitting on the market for a long time, so they were able to get great deals. And that whole scenario I remember very much as well. And then also with doing Airbnbs, managing those can be challenging. But the good news on the flip side is that you were able to sell those properties for a nice profit because of what happened, and you were in right on time. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit of wisdom with us today. And I just want to ask, if someone needs to get a hold of you or wants to call you for your services, I myself may, how would someone get a hold of you? Tell us how to find you.
So I'm happy to share my phone number. Of course, it's 786-417-5529. But the easiest is, I think, go on my homepage, which is fefifi.com, female financial fitness, fefifi.com. And there's a contact form that you can fill out to get in touch with me as well.
Great. And on social media?
On social media, I'm revamping everything at the moment to have everything refreshed for next year. So, right now that is not
working. Okay. Well, you gave your cell phone number, so that would do. And I really hope that someone that is wanting to just start out and learn, that you sound like you would be an amazing coach, an amazing person to walk someone through all of that learning. So thank you so much for being here. And I am so excited to see what this book does. We launched the hard copy in a couple of weeks. It's actually been formatted so people can order it on Amazon. And then we will see where it goes from here. But thank you so much, Denise, for being here. And I look forward to talking with you again soon. That's a wrap on this episode of the She Nailed It show. I am so honored you spent this time with us today. If you enjoyed the show, click follow or subscribe, drop a review, and share the episode. This really makes an impact for the next person needing courage along their journey too. Want to stay connected and be inspired by more stories and victories? Visit kingdomrehabher.com and follow me on all social media platforms. Until next time, keep nailing it one step